Hey guys, Lucas Soccer here. Today we are going to be looking at some Solfachord Yummy combos in a deck list, of course. Before we get too far into the video, I did want to give a quick shout out to the Hat Roll Fast, the homeless merchandising. I will be giving these away for free at YCS Pittsburgh. I think I have like 20 hats to give away. Once again, totally free. I'm just going to give them out to you guys. I think it'd be a super cool thing for the community. I'm also going to officially be selling these on November the 7th. I did want to say this is not something that I am making solely trying to make profit on. 50% of all profits for the merchandise are going to go to Family Promise, which is an organization that mainly helps end homelessness for families with children. And so it's for a really good cause, of course, but also I think it looks pretty cool. I've got hats, shirts, and hoodies all ready to go. If you guys have seen me in a couple videos with the merch, I've been trying it out to make sure it's the best quality. I don't want to make something that's poor quality. As you guys know, I take pride in my work. Let's go ahead and hop straight into the video, though. So in the first combo here, we have Solfachord Happiness, as well as any discard. It doesn't have to be a monster or anything. It can just be any card in the game. This is the main combo for Solfachord, with Happiness being an absolutely disgusting custom card. The effect you're mostly going to be using with this card, and like technically you can use the other ones, but it doesn't come up very often. Happiness is going to more than likely use the first effect, which is going to discard any card, and this is all on resolution, by the way. So if they ash your Solfachord Happiness, you don't have to discard. But it then adds 2 Solfachord Pendulum monsters with different scales from your deck to your hand. Then you can special summon Solfachord Pendulum monsters from your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, +1. So it's basically going to add 1 and special 1 from deck. Kind of. I mean, it's technically going to go through some extra steps, but that's basically what the card does. Going first, going second, you get to basically obedient school your opponent. And that card is limited, and so if we can put more of that card in our deck, we should probably do that. We're going to start off the combo by activating Happiness. We're going to discard this random card in our hand. We're going to add a Solfachord Promoa, as well as a Solfachord Solfegia, and we're going to special summon the Promoa. We're going to use Promoa to add our Solfachord Cutia, and we can use Solfegia effect now to special summon itself because we control only Solfachord monsters. From here, we can use the Solfegia to special summon the Cutia from our hand, and Cutia is now going to add Promoa. We're going to link off the Cutia, link off the Solfegia to then make our Grand Solfachord Musicia. This is an optional card. I think that absolutely 100 million % you should be playing this card. This card is really, I mean, the card's not that good, actually, but it says Solfachord in its name. It's a Solfachord Link monster, which means that right here we can trigger the effect of Promoa to get back our Solfegia. It gets this like really nice loop going of being able to like use your Solfegia for value and summon it, but also like have the ability to get it back very consistently. From here, we're going to go ahead and activate the Solfegia, activate the Promoa. We're going to set up our Pendulum Scales, and then we're going to link 3 into Grand Solfachord Kulia. Because we now have zones and we have some Pendulum Scales, we are going to Pendulum Summon. So we're going to summon out our Cutia, summon out our Promoa, and then the effect of Promoa is also going to trigger here in the Pendulum Scale. It says when you Pendulum Summon, you can target 1 Solfachord card in your Pendulum Zone, and we're going to return it to our hand. So we're going to bounce the Promoa here because we can. We don't really need Pendulum Scales at this point in time, unless you open like a second Happiness and you plan on like putting extra stuff on your board using the effect to Pendulum Summon again for some reason, because this deck can do that just for fun. But it's better just to keep it in your hand. It's an extra discard in case you ever need to like discard throughout this turn, but also you haven't normal summoned, so if you do get interacted with having a level 1 you can normal summon to finish comboing is always a good thing. From here, Cutia is going to become a Link Karibo, and then we're going to make our Cupsy. Cupsy effect's not going to trigger. This is going to add our other Cupsy, as well as a Marshmallow, and then we are going to go ahead and discard the Marshmallow. Because we have a Light Fairy on our field, Marshmallow doesn't do anything for us. We need him in the graveyard, though, for later things, but we don't need him in our hand. We're going to summon the Cupsy, use Cupsy to go ahead and add our Surprise, and then we can do some normal yummy things. We're going to make a Snashy, place our Minion, use Minion to revive from the graveyard, and then we can link synchro those off into a Lollipo, which Lollipo is then going to revive 2 level 1s. We're going to link off those 2 level 1s to make a Metal Marcher, which is going to revive our Lollipo, and then you can synchro off the Metal Marcher and a Cupsy to make a Herald. We're going to use Surprise now, summoning back that Marshmallow from earlier, which is going to trigger his effect to go ahead and add back the Surprise, and then we can link off this Lollipo that's negated, as well as our Marshmallow Yummy, to go ahead and make an IP. We're going to set the Surprise, and this is going to be our inboard. We don't only have like a normal Yummy inboard. Like if you look down here, there is Cupsy Yummy Way, good card, Herald of the Arclight, good card, and then IP Masquerade and Surprise. That's like a good end board for Yummy, right? But we also just have this random guy up here that says, when your opponent tries to duel, stop them. That's what it says. Like I don't know exactly how to read, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. That card is disgusting. And the fact that it's going to get you like really good recursion with summoning up the Solfegia here, just like some basically more bodies to block, And then when you actually summon up the Solfegia, it gives you something good to IP with. So now you can like link off the Solfegia to go into either SP. You can go into technically Gorgon of Zilthonia if you want. You can even like put it in this middle zone. You technically don't need to summon this Herald here. You can put Herald in zone 2. And then when you make IP, you can make Gorgon of Zilthonia in this zone 3 right here. That way it points up to the EMZ, kind of blinks your opponent's effect there. Or you can link off the Coolia. It really just depends on like what zones your opponent's playing into. But there's like a lot of different options that you can go through here. The main thing is that this is the entire Yummy board, with just another Omni Negate on top of it. And we played through hand traps really, really well because we had a negate starting on summon 5. In the next combo I'm going to show you, this is Promoa plus any discard. Promoa is also full combo for this deck. This deck plays 8 cards in it, like 8 Solfachord main deck monsters. 7 of them are 1-card combos. And so I'm going to show you all of those 1-card combos. The Solfachord cards bridge into the Yummy cards really, really well, but the Yummy cards don't bridge into the Solfachord cards at all. So there's really no point in like showing off any Yummy combos. I mean, Yummy's been around for like 1,000 years. If you guys need help with Yummy, go to YouTube. I'm sure there's a video. I bet I posted a video. I don't even remember. But we're going to start this combo off by normal summoning the Promoa, using the effect to add Solfachord Happiness, and then we can use the Happiness chunking our Fuwalos again to go ahead and add Cutia, as well as adding Solfegia. We're going to then special the Cutia off of the effect of Happiness, and then we can add our Promoa. We're going to then use the effect of Solfegia to special summon itself, make our Musicia, which is going to trigger our Promoa to add Solfegia, and then I think we've been here before. We're going to place our scales, make our Link 3, and then we are going to Pendulum Summon. On the Pendulum Summon, our Promoa is going to trigger to put back in our hand, and then we can make a Link Karibo and start doing some yummy things. So we're going to make our Cupsy, and I'm just going to let this play through because this is the same thing that we did 30 seconds ago. We're going to add 2 names, pitch the Marshmallow, summon Cupsy, get Surprise, and then we're going to turn our Cupsy into a Snatchy. Snatchy gets Field Spell, and then Field Spell revives to make our Lollipo. Lollipo is then going to revive too. It's Metal Marcher time, revive back our Lollipo, make Herald, and then we can use the Surprise to special back the Marshmallow from grave. Marshmallow adds back our Surprise, and then we can make IP. So as you can see, this is the exact same board. The only difference with this combo, and why this one's a little bit different, is like it takes your normal summon, but like, who cares? You get to the full board anyways, took the same amount of cards. You still like can play through a ton of interaction too. Like if they do Imperm your Promoa, Promoa is a level 1 still. You can make a Link Karibo. You can make an Almirage if you want. But the main thing is that this is the other engine requirement here, and it's full combo. It's getting you to literally the full board. Let's look at the last combo. In the last combo, we have Solfachord Cutia. This is quote-unquote like the worst starter out of them. Like this is what you would perceive as like a, not even like a brick, like an engine requirement, but it does still get you to full combo. We're going to start off by normal summoning the Cutia, use the effect to add Solfegia, and then we can summon the Solfegia with its own effect. We're going to use the Cutia now to make a Link Karibo, and then we're going to use the hidden effect of Solfegia, which tributes itself, and then instead of summoning from hand, we can special summon from the face-up extra deck or graveyard instead. So we're going to do that to special summon back our Cutia, and if you guys couldn't tell, this is pretending to be Snatchy, and this is a level 1 monster, which means we can combo. So we're going to make our Cupsy here. We're going to add Marshmallow, add Cupsy, and then we can discard the Marshmallow. We actually don't need this extra body at all. The only thing this extra body would do here is if we like chose to discard a card from hand instead of the Marshmallow, is it lets you end with a Link Karibo on your field, but I'll be honest, that's not real. You don't need that. Just go ahead and keep the extra cards in your hand. We're going to summon the Cupsy though, add a Surprise, link off into Snatchy, place our Field Spell, use the Field Spell to revive our Marshmallow, and then we can make a Lollipo, reviving 2 level 1s, make a Metal Marcher to then revive that Lollipo, and then from here we can make our Herald, be fully safe from Nib, use Surprise to revive our Marshmallow, which is going to add back that Surprise, and then we can go ahead and link those 2 off to make an IP and set our Surprise. This is the full board, except we're missing our Solfachord Yummy guy. So our worst 1-card combo, our engine requirement for the Solfachord cards. I don't know, I did that so often, my fingers feel weird now, but we got to the full board, right? There's an IP in our field, there's a Herald, there's a Cupsy guy, and we have Surprise. That sounds good enough to me, considering we didn't even have to discard with this combo. There's 4 other completely unknown cards in our hand, which is fantastic. That's going to be pretty much it for all of the combos. Let's look at the deck list. This is a pretty standard version of the Solfachord Yummy deck. So we have like a standard Yummy lineup of 3 Cupsy, 3 Marshmallow, 2 Lollipo, 2 Cookie. You can optionally change out a Cookie or a Lollipo for Obedient Schooled. I don't think it's the worst thing to do. I think that having more pushes going second that like auto win you the game when they resolve is a good thing to have. The only thing here is like it does cut you off of some of the Solfachord stuff, and so in this build I've chosen to play more actual names instead. We also have 3 Promoas, 1 Cutia, and 3 Happiness. These are all starters. Like if you count these first 17 cards, all of these first 17 cards are 1-card combos that get you to the full board, which is phenomenal, right? Now you have like the engine requirements. The cool thing for this is like you play the 2 engine requirements in the main deck. that come alongside with playing Yummy. You play Minion, you play Surprise. And this build of the deck, I don't think you need to main deck Minion. I think you can totally get away with it being in your side deck, because this build can play Purge still. That's one of the most fantastic things about the Solfachord build, is it doesn't interact or conflict with Purge in any way, shape, or form, which means you actually have a very good matchup into Draco Tail. I mean, you have Ash, you have Purge, you have Bell, you have 8 cards in your main deck that are trading very, very effectively into the back row for Draco Tail. So I don't think you have to play a Croaky, because that's a Croaky's main purpose, to be honest. It's for game 1 versus Draco Tail. Alongside the engine requirements for Yummy, the 2 here, you play 1 Solfachord. And so we're playing 3 engine requirements with 17 starters. If you guys go look at my deck list for Anaheim, we go like back in time for a second. I was playing 17 starters and like 6 engine requirements. So this deck is doing the kind of like the same thing, where it's smashing another engine that like helps convert your secondary engine into Yummy cards, except it's doing it more efficiently because there's less like poor draws in your deck, but also like that gives us room to play hand traps, because we're playing 17 hand traps in this build, as well as 3 Dark Rulers. I think this is actually like a very good strategy going into this next YCS as an events going forward, because all of the hand traps, if you like time them very well, like if you have Ash Blossom or a Purge, and you Ash Blossom your opponent's like Cupsy, Dark Ruler is going to trade with the majority of the board now, because they've lost their access to Surprise, right? They don't have anything on their back row anymore that is going to support their disruptions. They just have their front line, and Dark Ruler trades with that super, super well. You can also like save your Ash or your Purge for like the Saji effect if you think you're playing into the Mitsurugi Yummy deck, and then you can Dark Ruler their board after, because if you're just having to deal with Yummy stuff and nothing to do with the Mitsurugi stuff, you can play through that very effectively as well. Onto the side deck, you should side the Akroki. There's no reason not to side it. Anti-spell's kind of broken right now. I kind of took the place of some judgments. I mean, you were judgmenting a board breaker like 90% of the time anyways. You might as well just say no board breakers at all with anti-spell. And then you are siding Called By, Crossout, and Talents, because this deck does get hit by Droll. It's not the worst thing in the world, because you're primarily playing like a pure Yummy deck with lots of hand traps in it, so you have that to back up your board. But it does still suck, so you might as well just not get Drolled. You also have Fuwalos, which is 100% going to get negated if you draw the Crossout or the Called By. And then Talents is there just to punish in case they do have those cards. The only weird thing here with the deck really is Zilthonia Gorgon. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this card, but this is like a really, really good card going into this next format as well with IP. Being able to use this card as kind of an out to Liger, as well as like using it as a very solid disruption during your opponent's turn with IP is very cool. One cool thing for the Lunalight matchup, you have a very strict game plan versus that deck. Here's the game plan. You try to make IP, you hope they don't blow it up, then you use IP to make Gorgon, and you're chilling, because the Gorgon can't be destroyed by card effects now. And what happens if they destroy your IP before you can make your Gorgon? Then you're sad, right? Yes and no. In this specific build, you have a backup plan for that, because what you do is you actually try to make Almirage, then you make your IP. At that point, when they realize what's happening, when they realize that you're going to turn this IP into an out for their Liger and they can't stop you, they're going to try to blow up your field. But then you just use Almirage to protect your IP. You keep going for another 30 seconds, and then you get to your Gorgon, and now you're chilling, right? I mean, you finally got there. It's just a really consistent way to get an out for Gorgon of Zilthonia. And let's say they double Liger you, right? They stop you altogether from getting to your IP Gorgon play. At that point, they have nothing else that's really going to stop you. You just kind of put a minion on the field and you summon 6 guys, and you hope it goes well from there. That's your out for the Lunalight matchup. But that's pretty much it. I kind of ranted a little bit more on the deck. I would like to know what you guys really think about me talking about the deck more, showing the deck off, the deck list for it, as well as like the format I used for the combos. Once again, check out the merch whenever it goes live. It goes towards a good cause. It's something that I'm actually super passionate about with helping people. I know it started completely as a joke, but I think we can do some good here, as well as I don't think it looks bad at all. The hats look super cool. Anyways, come up to me at Pittsburgh. Hopefully I'll have some still. You should try to find me on Friday, though. I would love to give out as much as I can. But hey, I appreciate you watching the video. If you guys would not mind commenting, and subscribing, I'd appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks. Bye-bye.